Cool, let's jump straight in. If you saw on my Instagram, I've tried to record this video 4 times. This is number 5, and I believe it's going to be the greatest. One of the leaders at my church gave us a challenge to only speak life for 21 days. This video is going to be amazing. It's going to be impactful. It's going to be wise. It's going to be honest. It's going to bring about fruit in people's lives. So at the beginning of the year, one of the leaders in my church invited me and a couple of other girls to join a year Bible plan. Side note, them things are serious, boy. We're in October now. Today's October 2nd or today's October 1st. Because there's definitely like dips and what do you call this? Dips and lows. That's the same thing. Dips and peaks, highs and lows. It really shows you how many days you can go without reading the word in the span of a year, because there's times where like I'm super consistent and then times where I'm not. And then like, on the Bible plan, on the Bible app, it has like the catch up days. Sheesh. Let me tell you the amount of times I have to catch up on that thing. I think sometimes as well, reading the Old Testament can feel a little bit like a chore maybe. It's not a chore, but it can feel like, oh, these books, these Old Testament books. Number one, the Bible has got plot twists for days, Tops any TV show, any movie, any theater production. The Bible has like the stories in that book. At the beginning of every day, it gives you prayer points. It's 5 prayer points. It's Lord, give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Let any knowledge I gain help me to love you and others more and not puff me up. Help me to learn something new about you. Help me with anything that I might misunderstand and direct my steps according to your word. Praying that at the beginning of every day before reading the word has been so, so fruitful. And I've like really enjoyed reading the word too. But come back to why I'm here. So I was reading through Exodus, right? I had never really read the book in its entirety or studied the book in its entirety. So often that story ends with the Red Sea, the part of the Red Sea, and the Israelites. Whoa. With the Israelites having their exodus out of Egypt, being delivered from the Egyptians. And so often for me in my life, that's where I've stopped reading or where I've stopped paying attention. Open your Bibles to Exodus chapter. Where am I? Hold on, let me actually find where I am. I think it's 14. Yeah. Verse 30 to 31. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians, so the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. I'm going to read that one more time. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians. So the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Not even 2 full chapters later, in chapter 16, then they set out from Elim, and the congregation of the people of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month, after they had departed from the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the people of Israel said to them, would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pot and ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. I'm going to go back to chapter 14. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians. So the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Should we take a minute? I think we should take 2 seconds. Reading this really made me reflect on how quick we may be as Christians to forget who the Lord is, to forget the Lord or forget what the Lord has done. How quick am I to grumble against the Lord after he's shown himself strong time and time again. But when the next struggle comes, when the next valley comes, how do I respond? What made me even more cautious about when I was reading this is that in between those two chapters is a chapter 15, where majority of it is them praising the Lord and giving thanks to the Lord for what he's done. Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The Lord is my strength and my song. Your right hand, o Lord, glorious in power. Your right hand, O Lord, shatters the enemy. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake you. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. Who is like the Lord among the gods? And not even a full chapter later, why have you brought us out into this wilderness to starve us? It's actually not funny though, you know what I mean? These are people who, with their own eyes, saw one of the most miraculous events documented in the Bible. One of the most miraculous events, maybe in human history, and still on the 15th day of the second month after they departed from the land of Egypt, they grumbled against Moses and Aaron and therefore the Lord. God can do something marvelous in my life. God can deliver me from something. God can make a way where there was no way. God can show himself strong. And I praise him and I thank him. God, you're so good. Thank you so, so, so much. And then when we kind of maybe come down from that high, if you want to use that term, I don't know if that's the right language, but a month later, 2 months later, if a challenge comes up, do we complain? Do we moan? Do we grumble? Like, what is our response? So yeah, it just got me thinking about how can I respond better as a believer? Because these are people. Chapter 14 says, it says the people feared the Lord and they believed in the Lord. These are not unbelievers. These are people who have seen God answer their prayers, seen the plagues, seen the parting of the Red Sea, and they still grumbled and moaned. Even later on in chapter, all of the congregation of the people of Israel moved from the wilderness of sin by stages, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped at Rephidim, don't know. But there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, give us water to drink. And Moses said to them, why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord? But the people there thirsted for water, and the people grumbled against Moses and said, why did you bring us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst? I was watching a message on this story, and the speaker had a really good point, and she was sharing how it's not that the problem, I guess, isn't valid. So like it's not like being hungry and thirsty isn't a valid discomfort. They're out here traveling in the desert. To be thirsty, they might have been delirious. Their bellies might have been eaten. Some might have cramps. Like it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. And so it's not that the problem isn't valid or the issue or the challenge or the struggle or the trial or the tribulation isn't valid, but how do we respond in a way that pleases the Lord? For me, I spoke about it in my video. That's over a year ago now. Geez, when I put out I turned 21. In that video, I spoke about having a really hard time a few months prior. That was probably one of the hardest times of my life. That season of my life rattled me to the point where I responded by doubting the Lord. If you know me in person, you will know that I love worship music, right? I love to worship the Lord. During that season, I like ceased worshiping. I yeah, I stopped worshiping. I was so upset at the Lord, and I thought, and I was doubting his goodness. And so the song, it felt, oh, it's so bad to say, it felt like he wasn't worthy of my worship. Well, I'm so sorry. And I was so hurt that it felt like he wasn't worthy of my worship because I couldn't be this hurt and he be that good. Reflecting back now, it revealed something in my heart that needed to be addressed. When this really bad thing happened, and it was bad, and again to the point where like it's not to invalidate anything horrible that's happened or anything horrible that you're experiencing, but it really did highlight to me that this horrible thing happened and your response was to turn from the Lord. Your response was to grumble against the Lord, to complain against the Lord, to moan against the Lord. There's a song by Travis Green, the enemy can take some things, but he can't take my worship. There are so many things that the enemy can take for us, that the enemy can threaten, that life can threaten, that people can threaten. There's so many different things that are out of our control, that may happen to us that, you know, we that just causes us to have a really horrible time, a really hard time. But the one thing, if anything, that we have control over is our worship, how we respond, you know. And listening to that song during that time, I'm really struggling, and I'm angry at you, Lord. But I know you're good, even if I don't believe it right now, or even if I'm still really upset at you. This I know, because I've seen you. I've seen your greatness. Same as the Israelites. I've seen you do it. I've seen you be great. I've seen you be strong. I've seen you be loved. I've seen you grant me peace. I've seen you deliver me. So I know. I have this testimony. I know. And so even if right now what I feel doesn't feel like you're the same God you was then, I know that you are. And so let me lift my praise to you. Because actually, regardless of what I'm feeling, you're still worthy. Because that doesn't change. It doesn't change. The law doesn't change. So he can never be not worthy based on our circumstances. He can never be any less good based on our circumstances. There's even another song that really helped me through that season. It's called Paul and Silas. It's by Naomi Rain. And it goes, I'm not waiting for the morning. I'm not waiting for the morning. I will worship you right now. In that, I'm not waiting for the good times to come back around. I'm not waiting for the sunny days and the positive feelings and the whatever to come back around for me to worship you. I will worship you right now. In the midst of my pain, in the midst of my sorrow, in the midst of my despair, I will worship you because you are worthy of it. Woo! Oh yeah, we got clips. I almost forgot. It's been so long. I've tried to record this video so many times. I forgot that we have clips. We have clips from other people. Okay, I guess roll the clips, innit?
This is definitely a struggle of mine right now, actually. Sometimes when you're in the middle of like struggles and trials, you kind of forget the God that you actually serve, and you just feel down in the dumps. The lack of anchoring that we have to His words, like not even just in general, but like daily. Sometimes we're in lack of that, so we're just so clouded, like our minds are clouded, and we just forget how good He is. I feel like even now, yeah, because I am starting uni, yeah, that's one place where I forgot. It's even silly to think, but it's like I felt like, how am I gonna get through this? And it's like God has done it for so many other people that have gone to university to like help them graduate and get through assignments. What makes me think He can't do it for me as well? I need to hold on again to what He said that He's gonna do. Like He's been faithful to do it before, so He's gonna do it again. Because when I read the word, I'm reminded, when I see my testimonies, my friends' testimonies, my families, I'm reminded, like, I think it's all about perspective. It's a reminder every day. I think right now, anyways, it's definitely been the people around me that God's been speaking to me through. Like, it's actually so hard, it is. But again, there's no better foundation than God, so I would say always go back to the source. It's from Philippians 1 verse 6. Do I just say it? Being confident of this very thing, that he who has began a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ.
Are you gonna ask me? Yeah, that would be super helpful. Suffering is one of those things where it's like our reaction straight away to suffering is like, why me? I mean, oh, well, why me? Like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then when we ask why, then we come up with like a logical reasoning after that. Whatever we ask why for, there's some follow-up reason. And I think that's where sometimes we can get it wrong. It's like the follow-up reason might be, oh, it's because I done this, or it's because I done that, or oh, it's not fair, I haven't done anything and whatnot. And we like, what we do is we measure it based on almost like our righteousness. We measure it based on us, as if it is us that's caused this suffering. Whether it is or whether it isn't, I mean, the suffering is, I almost think the suffering doesn't matter whether it's like, whether you enforced it on yourself or it's been enforced on you. Suffering is suffering. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we look at it like it's unjust. But if we actually sort of take a step back, and I always think about this, like whenever suffering's happening, like if we just stared at the cross for 30 seconds, I think we'd start to really consider what we're going through at the moment. And it's not necessarily, the cross brings a lot of glory and I mean the finishing of our faith and all of this stuff, but the cross was also, there was a lot of pain on that cross. Like we're covered by the blood, not by water, by blood. I mean, in order to experience blood, you have got to go through a lot of pain. In order for Jesus to go through what he went through, it was a lot of pain. And we look to him. So I guess I obviously said this off camera, but I've also got like a weird spin on suffering. I think I almost see it as a pleasure. I almost see it as like a good thing. Whenever I'm in the middle of suffering, I'm like, flip, this ain't the best. But I know for damn sure that by the time I get to the end of it, something would have improved. Some aspect of me, some part of me that might be my faith. I mean, that might be my strength physically, that might be my strength mentally. Like all of these areas, or all three, they would have improved. So, and I only see that improvement happening during suffering. Like we can't really improve outside of suffering. If you think about growing your physique, you literally have to go to the gym and you have to tear your muscles for them to grow. You know what I'm saying? In order to grow your mind, in order to, you know what I mean, become intellectual, you have to literally sit down and read books, and it's jarring and it's long and it's annoying. But at the end of it, just get like that 1%, that 2% better. And I think it's the same for suffering. When we're in the middle of suffering, it's like, this ain't the best, but I'm definitely gonna get that 1%, that 2% better by the end of it. Yeah. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
It's natural for me to feel I'm a human being. I have feelings. I go through hurt. I go through pain. I go through all these type of emotions, but it's about being emotionally aware. And I just talk to God and say, hey, Dad, you know I'm human. I'm not happy about this situation. I'm feeling this way. And I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to pick myself up. I don't know how to get out of this. I have to be real about it. My journey has not been easy one bit. And it's interesting because it's like, as soon as I got saved or as soon as I got baptized, arrows were coming towards me. And I'm like, yo, what life is this? Like, really? I thought it was supposed to be easy. It doesn't work like that. Because for me, I'm like, if that was to happen, at what point do we learn? At what point do we grow? At what point then does God get the glory if we don't have those testimonies, if we don't have those testing times? And if we look at one of the fruits of the Spirit, it tells you in there long suffering. Listen, the Bible for me is the manual to life in helping you through any mental health, any depression, anxiety, fear, money issues, marriage, love, understanding all those different elements in life that we all face and struggle with. Navigating that is, I just have to sit down in that manual, and I'll have days where I will bawl out to God, snot everywhere, look in a hot mess. Use the word as an affirmation every single day and keep speaking that over your life. But also, one important thing as well, it's not forever, it's temporary. You might have worries and struggles for the night, but joy will always come. It always comes. And it's horrible when you're going through it. But if you just remind yourself, better days is coming. Like, He wants the best for us. His thoughts towards us is always of good. So that's my encouragement.
yeah, I was just asking people to share about how they reconcile faith versus feelings, how we can lean less away from our feelings and more on our faith. I think what's so beautiful too is that the Lord, He's compassionate. And so He doesn't dismiss our feelings, but we have to bring our feelings to the throne and accept truth over it. And that is where the faith comes in, believing in this truth that regardless of what I feel, this is what His word says. That regardless of what I can't see what you're doing right now, but this is what His word says. Let's not be quick to forget who the Lord is. Let's not be quick to forget what He has done. I think a really good practice too is writing things down. That when the Lord makes a way and moves in great ways, to write it down. And in your times of despair, in your times of struggle, in your times of trials, to read back what you wrote. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. The last like 2 weeks, I was what was that? I was shooting a short film, and someone on the crew was like, I've seen your documentaries online, and then so I was at a friend's birthday party. They said like, I saw your documentaries, and that made me happy. It's a docu podcast. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Love you all and be blessed. Don't be quick to forget. Me too. I'm reminding myself. Bye, guys.